Hello everyone, I am Gyan and you are learning computer science with Python for class 11. In this video we are going to learn about mutable and immutable types. Mutable and immutable types. See, immutable types are those data values which cannot be changed, and mutable types are those data values which can be changed. Let's first learn about immutable data types. Immutable data types in Python. A data whose value cannot be changed is called immutable data type. For immutable data types, a value cannot be modified. Okay, let's see an example. Suppose that we have p is equal to 5, then we have q is equal to p, then we have r is equal to 5. Okay, after few more lines of codes, suppose that I have p is equal to 10 and r is equal to 7 and q is equal to r. Okay, so if I try to print p, then what should be output of this print statement? Of course, it will be 10. Now you may say that initially p was containing 5, now p is containing 10. So the value of p is changing. Initially p was containing 5 and now p is containing 10, and when I print p it prints 10. That means the value of p has changed. If you print r, it will print 7 now. If you print q, it will print 7 now. Okay, and earlier up to this statement all these three variables were 5, means p was 5, q was 5 and r was 5. All the three values were 5, but after changing the values, p is 10, r is 7 and q is also 7. So values of variables have been changed. So the values have been changed. Values of variables have been changed. Now what is immutable here? Okay, if I say integers are immutable data types, what is immutable here? Because values of the variables are getting changed. So let's see it more clearly that what is happening inside. See, inside the computer memory, you have object 5. Okay, inside the computer memory, you have object 5. And for this statement, P does not contain 5. Okay, this is not the case. P does not contain 5. What P contains here is that P is a different location in the memory which contains address of 5 in it. Okay, it contains address of 5 in it. Logically, P is pointing to 5 because if someone has address of someone else, then that someone is pointing to someone else. Okay, if P has the address of 5, that means P is pointing to 5. That's how logically we can show this arrow that P is pointing to 5. So P does not contain 5 in itself. P is pointing to 5. P has the address of 5. Now, what about Q? Q, I am talking about this statement now. What about Q? Q has the same content as P. P has ADDR, that's why Q also has ADDR. That means Q has also address of 5. It means logically Q is also pointing to 5. Now R is also 5. So R will also contain address of same 5. That means PQR are pointing to the same location. Okay, so I'm talking about this statement now. This is the actual case. Okay, but if you are thinking that P has a different 5, Q has a different 5 and R has a different 5, then you are wrong. This is not the case with Python. Okay, 5 gets its separate position in the memory, and all the variables which are supposed to store 5 actually contain address of 5. Okay, these variables do not have 5 in themselves. they have address of 5, and this 5 is common for all the variables. This is the case. Now suppose that you have another value 10, which is at address ADDR. You have another value 7, which is at the address ADDR2. What you are doing now? Now you are storing 10 in P. That means what you are doing, you are just assigning a new address to P. So you are not going to change the existing 5. You are not going to change the object which was actually containing 5. What you are going to do is, you are going to change the address contained in P. You are going to write here ADDR1 instead of ADDR. So the connection from P to 5 will be disconnected, and the 5 will start pointing to 10 now. Okay, so actually after this statement, you have not changed the content of 5. Okay, 5 is there, but P stopped pointing on it. After that, what you are doing is R is equal to 7. So R is 7. What is the address of 7? It's ADDR2. Again, R will start pointing to a completely different location. It does not mean that the 5 is going to be changed to 7. No, 5 will be there. R will start pointing to ADDR2 instead of ADDR. So we are not changing the value 5, but the variable which was pointing to 5 started pointing to somewhere else, started pointing to 7. So this connection also got disconnected, and R started pointing to ADDR2. Now we have Q. You are saying that whatever there in R, same content should be present in Q. So Q should contain ADDR2. Q should contain ADDR2. Now, just like R, Q is also pointing to ADDR2, means Q is pointing to ADDR2, and previous connection of Q got disconnected. None of these changes have actually changed the content of 5. They just have started pointing to somewhere else. And if a new variable comes which says that x is equal to 5, then this new variable will start pointing to this 5. So hopefully now you understood that how integers are immutable. We cannot change actual integer object, but we start pointing to somewhere else. We start pointing to a different integer object. So this was about integer, and same rules are applied to floating point numbers. Now let's see how strings are immutable. Suppose that we have string s is equal to hello. So hello is an object, a string object, which has an address which contains a sequence HELLO. HELLO. Now S is pointing to this object, the string object. That means S has ADDR, which means S started pointing to this ADDR. Idea is that you cannot change one character of a string object. Okay, I cannot write K instead of H. That will be wrong. I cannot change H to K. That will be wrong. But I can write here S is equal to KELLO, and one more object will be created which contained KELLO. The string S will start pointing to it. Suppose that address of this new string object is ADDR1, so S will have ADDR1. The new string object will start it pointing to it. So changing complete address of a variable is allowed. Okay, you can change complete address of the variable S. But suppose that you have not changed the complete address of the variable S. What you did here is, you are trying to change just one element in this string object, and that is not allowed. If you try to write here S1 is equal to K, this is not allowed. Okay, This is not allowed. You cannot change a particular element of a string object. It will throw an error. And that's how strings are immutable. You cannot change it. In the same way, tuples are also immutable. Some immutable data types in Python are integers, floating point numbers, booleans, strings, tuples. So these are immutable data types in Python. Means we cannot change them. And if we talk about string and tuples, we cannot change a particular element of them. Of course, whatever the values, whatever the address stored in a given variable, that address can be changed. But we cannot change a particular element of an string object. We cannot change a particular element of the tuple object. Now let's see how you can recognize that if two variables are pointing to the same location or not. What I mean here is, I just told you that if s is equal to 5 and r is equal to 5, there are two variables s and r, both contains 5, then 5 is going to be a different object in the memory whose address is addr, which contains 5, and s will be pointing to the same location. That means s is going to have addr in it. That means s is pointing to the same location, and r is also going to point to the same location. That means both are pointing to the same 5. addr also contained by r. How we are going to prove it? Can we prove it practically? Yes, we can prove it practically. Let's see it. Suppose that we have s is equal to 5 and r is equal to 5. Now I told that both are containing the same address. Okay, both are pointing to the same object 5. So what I do here is I just type id and in the parenthesis write the value. Press enter and you got the address. This is the address of the memory where 5 is. And this address is actually contained by s. S does not contain 5. S contains this address. Okay, and the same address is going to be stored by R also. Let's see it. ID R, and you can see the same address is contained by R. Whoever is going to store 5 in it, all those variables are going to contain the same address. If I write x is equal to 5, x is also going to contain the same address. Type id in the parenthesis, opening and closing a small bracket. You write x and here is your address. So everyone which contains the value of 5 in them actually never contains 5 in itself. It contains address of 5 in itself. Now suppose that if I write s is equal to 6, then the location pointed by s will be changed. id s. Now you can see the location pointed by s has been changed. And if you write something y is equal to 6 and then you put id y, you will get the same location. So for one value you are going to get the same location, and this location is actually stored in y, s and other variables. 5 and 6 are not actually stored in the variables. These locations are stored in the variables. And how you can get the locations? By passing the name of variable into id function. So hopefully now things make sense to you. So after immutable data types, we have something called mutable data types. Let's see mutable data types. Mutable data types. A data whose values can be changed are called mutable. A data whose value can be changed is called mutable data type. Means the value can be changed in place. Okay, the value can be changed in place. Now here we will do some interesting experiments. Suppose that you have a variable x is equal to 2, 4 and 6. And you know that when you print x0, it will give 2. When you print x1, it will give 4. Can we apply id to x? Can we apply id to x0? We are going to check all these stuff. X is equal to 2, 4, 6. Got it? Now let's see id of x. id of x. Press enter, and this is the id of the whole object. The whole object. Okay. What I mean here is that when you write x is equal to 2, 4, 6, it will contain 2, 4, 6 in it, and you will have x. Okay. Address of this list object is going to be stored in x. Got it? But when I write id x0, can you tell me which address it will give me? It is going to give you address of 2. Okay. So actually this location does not contain 2 in itself. Okay. Your 2 is somewhere here whose address is say A1, and this location does not contain 2. This location contains A1. This location contains A1, A2, A3. A1 has 2, A2 has 4, and A3 has 6. So X contains ADDR1, which is the address of list object, and this list object contains address of A1, A2, and A3. Okay, which are the addresses of 2, 4, and 6? That means effectively the first location of the list is pointing to A1, second location is pointing to A2, and the third location is pointing to A3. It means if I write y is equal to 4, then y is going to point to A2, the same content pointed by the second element of the list. Y is going to point the same because both are 4. Let's try it. So we got the address of x0, which was effectively address of 2. If I write say y is equal to 2 and check id of y, it is going to return the same address x0 had. Okay, both are containing the same address. Now suppose that I'm going to create one more list variable which contains the same content 2, 4, and 6. As you can see here, even if the content of the list are same, then also id of x and id of z are not same. They are very different objects in the memory, although pointing to the same 2, 4, and 6. What do I mean here is that if I write z is equal to 2, 4, 6, then z is going to contain address of a new object which will contain A1, A2, and A3. Okay, but these two objects are going to be very different than each other. Although their content are same, both are containing A1, A2, and A3. Both are containing the addresses of 2, 4, and 6, but they are very different. These objects are very different than each other. Now the question is, what do you mean by mutability? Let's see what I mean by mutability. We know that immutable means we cannot change a particular value from a string. We cannot change the actual content of integer. Of course, the addresses stored in the variable can be changed, but actual integer cannot be changed from its place. So that was immutability. Now let's see what the mutability is. Suppose that x is equal to 2, 4, and 6. Let's draw the complete diagram. we have X which contain ADDR. This is the ADDR which has 246. It has ADDR. It's pointing to this one. Okay. It has 2, object 2. Object 2 has the address A1. Object 4 has the address A2. Object 6 has the address A3. And these contents are not actually 2, 4 and 6. These contents are actually A1, A2 and A3. So hopefully you understood this thing. A1, A2 and A3. What do I mean by mutability? Mutability means if I write x1 is equal to 5, then of course there will be a 5 whose address is A4, and instead of address of A2 at the second position of this array, second position of this list, we will have A4 at the second position of this list. So we are going to have A4 in the second position of the list. And this is what the mutability is. The content of actual object has been changed. If you remember, this was not allowed with the string. This is not allowed with the tuple. We cannot change a particular element of a string object or tuple object, but we can change a particular element of the list object. And now hopefully you can understand how these things are managed internally, how a variable is not going to store the actual value, but it stores address of the actual value. And when you change the variable, actually you change the address contained by the variable, not the value stored in the variable. So hopefully you are getting all these things. Now there are few functions supported by Python which already we have used, but let's recap them once. The first function we are going to use is type. When you pass any variable to the type function, you write any variable name in between opening and closing a small bracket of a type function and press enter, you will get type of that variable. Means type of the variable x is list. If you do the same, type x0, then type of the first element of the list x is going to be integer. So this is the type function. When you pass any variable to the argument of type function to the parenthesis, means opening and closing small bracket of type function, you will get type of that variable. We already have used it. Now the second one is id. We already have seen about id. Id gives address of a variable, means where the variable is actually pointing. Okay, so what you get result of id, that is actual content of that variable. That means if I write x is equal to 2, then typing here x is not actual content of 2, because 2 is an object stored somewhere else in the memory. If I type idx, this is actual content of the x. This is contained by x. And what is this? This is the address of 2. If I do operation like x is equal to x plus 3, and that will be 5. Of course, the actual content of x, means where the x is pointing, now must have changed. So type id x, and now x contains the address of 5, not 2. So if I create another variable a is equal to 5 and try to pass this variable to id, so as you can see, both x and a are pointing to the same location. So these are the actual content of x and a. These were like addr1 or a1, a2. Okay, these are contained by the variables. 5 or 2 are not contained by the variables. You can just type your constant name to get the location of that constant, means on which address object 5 is. And here you can see at this address object 5 is. When you assign 5 to any variable, actually you are assigning this address to that variable. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. See you in the next video where we learn operators used in Python.